A fantastic game, a fantastic display, a fantastic Roma side today, beating Cremonese 3-1. The only blunder to this game was that stupid goal that we conceded at the end. Had it been a 3-0 win, it would have been perfect. But we can't complain because today everything was perfect. What a game, guys. I mean, this Roma team is improving week in and week out on every point of view. On every single angle of the pitch, there are improvements that you notice every game that goes by. And it's more and more, we're becoming way more dominant. We really are. Now, again, today was Cremonese, which I must say, it's not an easy game. It really isn't. It was never an easy game on paper. Then how it developed, I think we killed Cremonese one by one. So the first goal, we killed them. Second goal, we killed them even more. And after the third goal, they basically did nothing. They didn't create much, but it's a tough ground to play. And a lot of teams lost points against this Cremonese side this year. So no game is an easy game in this league. No game is an easy game in a competitive league like the Serie A. So, you know, this game was a game that we had to treat it with detail, that we had to treat it with concentration, and a game where we had to get 3 points. And we did all of the above. I loved us today. I loved us today because since the Inter game, I have seen an exponential growth of the majority of these players, and I haven't seen them drop. The best thing is that ever since we played that Inter game, it's been an increase. Forget the Victoria Plzen game. But from that Inter game to now, everyone has improved. The team mechanisms have improved. The intensity have improved. The durability of our energy has improved. And I think everyone enjoys playing together right now. You can tell that they're having fun because, you know, they move very well. They move very fluid. I think that the word to describe us right now is fluid. We're way more fluid. The fluidity is key. Remember at the start, we struggled to score because we weren't fluid enough. Today we scored 3 goals. Ferguson gets on the score sheet for the first time. But apart from the 20 minutes that Ferguson played and scored, very good approach, we played 70 minutes with no striker. And yet, Baldanzi played a great game. And yet, we managed to create, despite the fact that our 3 players above, or 3 players in attack were half the size of the defense line that Cremonese put on the pitch. So I am very excited for what's coming, and I haven't said this much in my lifetime, but probably for one of the first times ever, I am very excited for what's next because, man, I want to cry. I mean, we're playing such good football recently, and I think to everyone, this is a clear message to everyone who continues to say that we're up there for a chance and that the reason Roma is up there is because of a coincidence. I think these performances displayed on a more regular basis, because this game was a perfect game. The game against Udinese was a perfect game. The game against Milan we lost, but it was a very good game. And I don't forget what I said after that game. I saw a lot of positive things, and I think moving on, I will not tolerate people, and I said this yesterday, I don't tolerate people who say that we're up there because of a coincidence and that we don't belong there. Again, I will not say, and it's wrong to say that we're going to win the league, because most likely we're not. But you need to give credit where credit is due. I think this team and this manager is first in the league. Of course, Inter play Milan tonight. He's currently sat first in the league, and for the majority up to now of the games that he played with no striker. I think you need to recognize credit. I think you need to recognize when a manager is good, when a manager has got clear ideas, and when he manages to experiment well, in a sense that he lets and he makes the players that he have at his disposal play under what he says. So yeah, I will not. I don't agree anymore to the fact that we're just a product of luck and that it's a coincidence. I said that we were lucky many times this season at the beginning of the season, and I still stick with that. I think we were lucky in the derby. We were lucky in the Verona game. We were lucky because we didn't play well, but we managed to scrape a win. Now I don't agree anymore. Now it's a Roma which is dominating games. It's a Roma which, in terms of intensity and pressing levels, is eating everyone up. Whoever you face in terms of intensity, you're eating up. And I take you back to that Milan game which we lost, but on an intensity point of view, you ate Milan up, which is why I so have to understand how we didn't score in that game. But it's, again, I always link back to it because everything that Gasperini does has a base, and that base is a formidable, stratospheric physical condition. And it's getting it's moving on to that perfect level because we're eating our opponents up, as I said before. But number two, we're keeping it for 90 minutes. We were 3-0 up at the 88th minute before conceding that goal, and we were attacking with 6 players in the box. That's something that you can't do if you didn't go through an intense pre-camp at the beginning of the season. You can't, because players run up and down. I look at Wesley. I want to focus on Wesley because I think Wesley today was one of my man of the matches. Wesley doesn't stop running, whether it's running forward to attack, scoring a great goal today. That third goal was the best goal today, or tracking back to defend. That guy is a machine. That guy doesn't. There isn't 1 second in a football game where I see Wesley stand still. No, he runs, and he keeps on running even if you're 3-0 up. Or Mancini, which runs up and press and wants to get that goal when we're 3-0 up. These are all concepts that we're not used to. We've never been used to. And these are all concepts that this manager has brought. And this manager is working miracles. This manager is working miracles. Miracles. And these players are working miracles as well. Because when you have a cohesion between a smart manager and players who follow your manager, these are the results. So as I said at the beginning, I'm very excited for what is next. I really, really, really am. Okay, let's look at the game on a more specific detail. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like if you haven't already, if you enjoyed today's game. If you're enjoying Roma top of the league, of course, who isn't enjoying that? But that is the last thing that we need to look up as of now. Gasperini also got a red card. I ain't gonna lie, he really gassed me up there. He really, really, really got me going. He hyped me up. He really did. And when they showed Gasperini celebrating to that third goal, sitting on the stands after that red card, this man he's hyping me up. He really is. But I think first 20 minutes, very sterile. I think as a product of Baldanzi starting as a false nine, which, again, careful, I'm not saying Baldanzi played a bad game. I think Baldanzi played a very smart game. And I'd actually say that starting Baldanzi and then using Ferguson as a tool to kill the game and end it is an incredibly smart move from Gasperini today. Because you start with Baldanzi and you try and find an early goal. Then in the second half, when they will want to try and equalize the game, you put a striker up front, you put a reference point up front, and you kill the game. And today you were lucky because he played a very good game and scored his first goal, which hopefully has made him unlock himself. But overall, he played a good game. I think he could have it was offside. He got disallowed that second goal, which was offside, but Ferguson played a good game. But going back to Baldanzi, I think in the first 20 minutes were pretty sterile because, of course, we tried. I'm looking at the first 20 minutes, then we stopped doing it, thank God. In the first 15 minutes, we played long balls on Baldanzi, and if there's one thing that makes you suicide, is playing long balls as Baldanzi as a false nine. Baldanzi as a false nine can be smart when it comes to, rapidity, fast legs in between a very physical defense. but playing long balls on Baldanzi is never going to be a solution. Because he's that tall and Baschirotto was marking him and he's triple his size. So I think in the first 15 minutes, Gasperini was pretty frustrated because all we seemed to do was long ball on Baldanzi, which was inevitably never going to work out. Then we stopped doing it. And then we stopped acting on Baldanzi as a point of reference to score goals, but rather as a point of reference to set the play, which led to Soule's goal. And I think that was very smart because we realized that we couldn't put crosses in the box or long through balls to Baldanzi, so we stopped playing wide and then in the box with crosses and played more vertical. Good exchanges, and then Soule with his wonder goal. I mean, somebody said it on the fan forum, there are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and a Soule wonder goal away from home. He's different. He's different. I don't know how you explain this, but I could write a book about Soule being a completely different player away from home than he is at home. But yeah, I mean, away this season we've been perfect thinking about it. He's been perfect because I don't remember a bad game that Soule played away. But generally speaking, on a broader scheme, we, apart from that Milan game, have won every game away from home, whether it's Europe or not. So very fair play when it comes to that. Then that penalty. I mean, ridiculous. These referees, who the hell recruits these referees, needs to be stopped. And I'm not having, because people go, oh, Simo, you can't blame him. He went to VAR to check it and then disallowed it. Well, thank God, I may add. What's wrong for me is that he had a clear vision on that handball. How the hell did he think that was a handball? I can understand he was a bit mixed because he had 8 players in front of him. His vision was blocked. He gave the penalty because of handball. No one was in front of him. The referee stared at Mancini, who, what is he supposed to do? Cut his arm off? Literally hit it like that. And we got robbed of a European final because of the same thing, but worse. So thank God he disallowed that penalty, because that penalty today, had they given that penalty, I'd have broken my television. And I'm not joking. And everything, those last 5 minutes of tantrum of the first half, all because that idiot of the referee didn't book the guy which fouled Wesley and didn't even give a foul. These referees are ridiculous. The level of Italian referees is something ridiculous. How was that not a foul on Wesley, which then led to Ziolkowski getting a yellow card, and 2 minutes after, him making that mistake on the penalty? Not only is that a foul, that's a yellow card. Wesley had an entire corridor to run into the box. So, referee was shit. I don't care if he disallowed that penalty or not. He was absolutely shit. Ziolkowski, I think, still isn't perfect. And I'm not just looking at that yellow card, but their only chance in the game was, there are only 2 chances apart from the goal that they scored. One of the chances was Vardy heading it in and Bonazzoli shooting and then Zvelar with a master save. That should never happen. Ziolkowski completely lost his man there. I like him. I'm in no position to crucify him after 3 months. Absolutely not. He's got great margins. But I still think that starting with Ziolkowski is a bit of a risk still, because he's young, and that doesn't mean that he can't score because he's young, but he will make these mistakes. That could have been a goal. Without Zvelar, that would have been a goal. Apart from that chance, they didn't really do much. Second half, we put Ferguson in to stop and keep balls up front, and then he scores, and then he has a great approach. But then the highlight of the game for me is that third goal. That third goal is unbelievable. That third goal is the Gasperini goal. It is. More and more often now, I describe goals as Gasperinian goals. The goal that we scored against Udinese with Cilic was a Gasperinian goal. This one probably even more. This is maybe one of the best goals that Roma have scored under Gasperini, Really. Teamwork at its best. Use of space at its best. Use of space matched with ability to occupy that space with Wesley. I think Wesley does it perfectly. No, look, guys, I mean, I said everything. I think Roma played a great game today. An absolutely phenomenal game. I like the dominance. That's what I like the most. I'm liking the dominance into these games even more. Um, Guys, I don't know if you know, but get yourself on match days to Chiesa di Totti. We're all there. I'm the flag bearer on there, says Roma Lat. Do you think Lazio will beat Verona? You mean Lecce? Yeah, I mean, if they don't beat Lecce, I don't know what happens to them. But yeah. Elsha also played well. And I actually would argue that El Shaarawy is the player that Gasperini likes the least. But today he played great. And this is it with El Shaarawy. Oh, again, sorry. I was speaking about El Shaarawy, but I can't not speak about Cristante. I cannot speak about the upheaval that Cristante has had. I mean, Cristante, I find it impressive how anywhere you put him, that Christian plays. I find it unbelievable. Wherever you put that man, he will play. You could put him in goal and he would play there. Today, in the span of 90 minutes, in the first half an hour, so Cristante just outside of the box, so that Bellingham position, maybe even a false nine position at times. In the second half an hour of the game, he dropped down and played next to Kone, with El Anawi getting subbed in and playing on a higher level. And in the third half an hour, he played as a centre-back. I mean, the ability that Brian Cristante has, the ductility, I would say, the versatility that he has to play anywhere the manager asks him. And I think one of the reasons why our midfield is playing very well is because Gasperini last season had Ederson and De Ron, which were his two pillars. I think he's found the Roma two players which are so similar to Ederson and De Ron. And these are Kone and Cristante. Cristante is De Ron 2.0. He's De Ron 2.0, but with a more offensive scheme. If you put him as a centre-back, and Gasperini played De Ron as a centre-back multiple times at Atalanta in his 9 years, Cristante also plays as a centre-back. It's unbelievable. The ability that he has to play everywhere. I'm not joking. He could play as a full-back. He could play as a goalie. He could play as a striker. Yeah, look. Top of the league, guys. We can't hide it. We're there. We can't ignore it. We're going to enjoy the Derby della Madonnina. On a big sofa like this, with a big duvet on, with a nice tea, and whatever happens in that game happens. Ideally, a draw, because if we draw, or if Milan win, but I don't want a Milan win, I want a draw. If Milan win or we draw, or they draw, we're first by ourselves. And it's the first time ever since the season started that if Inter don't win tonight, we would be first by ourselves. Does that mean anything? No, it doesn't. Does that mean we'll win the league? No, it doesn't. Does that mean that we can't celebrate about it? Does that mean that our eyes don't deserve to see our team leading the race as first above everyone else? Does that mean that I can't look at my team leading the table? It certainly doesn't. I can do whatever I want. We can do whatever we want. And it's fair that we enjoy this moment. Because I'll tell you one thing. If there's a fan base that deserves this more than anything, and anyone, it's us. Because the amount of shit that we've gone through in past seasons is unbearable. And we pulled through it. And we haven't won anything, absolutely. But always remember that whenever, what's that phrase? No matter how dark it gets, the sun will rise again. The sun will rise again. And when I say this statement in my head, I look at that Juric period. I look at the period last season where we were 3 points off relegation. I look at that Budapest final and how we lost that game. And now I look at us now and I'm like, we deserve this. We really deserve this because we've gone through so much shit in the last 5 years. through sackings of managers, through the appointments of idiots, through the betrayal of De Rossi, to the Budapest final, to the Leverkusen remontada with De Rossi, and then our dreams shattering apart with that header, and then the belief of that Paredes double on penalties, and then we deserve this. The truth is that we deserve this. So does it mean anything? No, it doesn't. But we deserve this. We really do. Okay, I'm going to end it here. I hope you enjoyed this match reaction. I want everybody, in fact, let me read a few comments. I've got some time. I don't want to leave you hanging. I feel bad for Miele. I mean, I would have loved the clean sheet, but who gives a damn? I mean, today we were perfect, guys. We were absolutely perfect. Props to Mr. for getting fully fit. Cristante runs like a dog. Respect to Elanawi for finding Fergie. Want some Guinness, lads? Fergie. Ireland. Until we beat Napoli, I don't want to hear about Scudetto. Next round will show of what we are made. If we win it and in January we really bring a few guys that will make a change, then possible. Oh yeah, I completely forgot we have Napoli next. Actually, we've got Midtjylland first. I want to win that game. We still can get in the top 8, and we need to get in the top 8. So, and then we've got Napoli. Without Gasperini on the touchline, but bring it on. We'll be there. I agree, though. Like, if you beat Napoli next weekend... Okay, the way I describe this is, as of now, chances of me believing in the league after today are 10%. 10% of it 100. If you beat Napoli next weekend, I'm going to higher it to 15%. Deal. That's the deal. Probably even 20, but not more than 20. Yeah, absolutely. The derby will be a very exciting game. Baldanzi was very agile with his touches up front. Death taxes and Cristante first on distance covered. Absolutely true. Spot on. That penalty call was outrageous. Guys, I read that. We got robbed of a final because Anthony Taylor is pretentious and self-absorbed. Worst referee on the planet. Zilcox is still very young. Yeah. You know what's crazy? Everyone's been unbeaten in the last 48 matches when scoring the first goal. Soulé is a god, so impressed with him. Kone is amazing too. Kone believes in the project. We should enjoy being top of the league while we are here. Thoughts on Pizzilli? Played 2 minutes, mate. I can't really give him any words. I mean, he played 120 seconds, counted on 2 fingers. I remember when you used to be wondering if Wesley was the perfect gas player and wasn't sure. Now look. Oh, no, I doubted Wesley. I never doubted that he wasn't suited to this system. Never. I doubted him as a player because there were games where Wesley was unwatchable in terms of technique. And absolutely. But ever since that Inter game, Wesley's transformed. Like, again, Wesley runs like a mad dog, like a madman. He doesn't stop. He doesn't run out of diesel. He really doesn't. It's unreal. Ti ho sempre più bene se non parlo l'inglese. Grande. I defended you, Simo. I need Milan to draw. We all need Milan to draw. Guys, who doesn't want to see us leading the top of the league by ourselves to not just mock your friends? Like, I've been waiting for the moment to see Roma by itself, just to mock my friends. So of course I want to draw tonight. Right, I'm going to end it. I'll catch you on TikTok. Follow Roma Theory on TikTok. I am expanding on short form content, and I will film some things over there. Talk to you soon. Hit the like, subscribe. Forza Roma sempre. Banti! Simo out.